We are into the fifth unit of the introduction to data science subject. So in the first unit, we have seen what is data science and what is big data, what is statistical inference, what is exploratory data analysis, what are probability distributions. There we studied about different data types of R and how to install R. Then in the second unit, we talked about description of data. What are the different attributes and central tendency measures such as mean, median, mode, and measure of dispersion using variance, standard deviation, range, interquartile range. Then we talked about box plot, then graphical description of the data using line plot, scatter plot, and box plot and histogram. Actually, in the fifth unit, we are going to generate those plots. And if you remember, in the third unit, we talked about the R operators, and they are vectors, R matrices, R arrays, and R data frames, and lists in R. In the fourth unit, we talked about relational and uh, relational operators, logical operators. Then we talked about if and else conditional statement. Then we talked about uh, function loops in R, while and for loop. Then we talked about functions. We learned about functions, recursive function, iterative function, and using those functions, we could do programs. So now we are in the fifth unit. We are into the fifth unit, and this unit does contains charts and graphs in R. How we can generate those charts. So our future classes will be studying this chapter to learn how to create a pie chart and how to create a 3D pie chart, bar chart, box plot, histogram, line graph, multi-line graph, and scatter plot. So this is what we are going to study. You know that graphical description is very, very important to understand the data. You may present many number of tables, but if you present your data in the form of a diagram or a graphic, it would be more effective than any other aspect. So graphical representation is very, very important in presenting the data. And for that, we have these plots. One is pie chart, circular pie chart. Then we have bar chart, then box plot, then histogram, line graph, scatter plot. So today we learn how to create a pie chart. Pie chart is, that it is a circular chart where you have different slices. So in R, we can generate the pie chart using a command, using a function called pie, which is part of graphics package. And these are the attributes: part, labels, edges, radius, clockwise, init angle, density, angle, colors, main. So we'll be exploring one by one. Before that, let me describe what is part. Part is the data for which we are plotting the pie chart, and labels are the labels which we use for each part of the data. Edges is used to change the outer circle. Outer circle, how fine you want a circle. That is edges. Radius is generally it will be between minus 0 to 1. If it is minus 1, the chart will be clockwise chart that we'll see. So it is the radius of the pie chart circle. Then we have clockwise. Generally by default it is false. It will be counterclockwise. If you want clockwise direction, then you have to give true or false. True. Then initial angle is where you want to start your pie chart. Density is used to fill the lines instead of the plain color. Angle is the degrees of lines of the shading. Then colors. Then main is used to give the the title to the chart. Now let us go to our R command, R studio, and try to create a thing, pie chart. So today we are learning pie chart. So we'll create a data. Let us say, suppose I'm having the data in the college of the students. So let us say students data, and the students, suppose there are 100 students coming from Suryapet district, 200 students coming from Khammam district, and another 100 students coming from Nalgonda district. So this is the data, and let us say maybe to make it uneven so that we can understand these things very easily. So I will be writing pi. I want to draw this. Now you can see here pi, x labels, names, edges, radius, clockwise, all the attributes that we discussed already. So now I'm going to plot std, my students data. So here you can see the plot. This is 1 is 100, then in anti-clockwise 200 is this one, and 50, and 1 2 3 are by default it has given the labels. Now I will give the labels. Let us say uh, districts, rather districts. So let us say Suryapet, Khammam, Nalgonda. Now what I do is, sorry, C, vector C. Now pi, I want to plot the data student, and labels that I'll be giving is stored in a vector called DTS. Now you can see Suryapet, Nalgonda, and Khammam as the labels. I can also give the title, main. So here maybe district wise students. Now see the title, district wise students data has come. Now we can do many things with that, but one thing what we want to do is colors. For example, let us say I want to give colors. So I will define a vector called my color, and for Suryapet I want to give red, and Khammam I want to give blue, and Nalgonda I want to give green, and again I will create a pie chart. Same, I will copy this and add the colors to that. So colors is equal to my color vector. Now you can see the colors also used. And I can also These are the important things. Other things you can uh, just plug in and play. And what are the other things that we have seen? Many things. If you want lines on that, you can give the density. In addition to this, suppose I give density. Now you can see the lines. Density is 20 is the line. And if I give my density as 200, you can see that the lines will become very dense. That means almost all is color. For example, if I give only 20, already we have seen that 20, right? So let us not bother about it. Then we can also see the radius. Instead of 20, I'll give my radius. If I give -1, by default radius will be 1 or -1. If I give -1, if you can see the plot is now arranged as uh, counterclockwise, clockwise. So Suryapet, Khammam, and Nalgonda. Earlier plot was different. Now I can also let me copy this and clear it, and I'll give 1 here. Now this is the thing, Suryapet, Nalgonda, and I can also give init angle. Now here this is the initial angle. From here it is starting Suryapet, Khammam, Nalgonda. And let me give it as 1 and init angle, let us say 90. So this line will go there. So you can see this Suryapet Khammam, that is init angle. Then we can also say radius is equal to 3. So, but radius that data that it was not sufficient, so it is doing. So then and so radius is, let us make it as 2. Because it is borders are not set, it is showing it as circle, but it is actually showing is as square, but actually it is a circle. You know that, right? What? Right. So this is about mm, the pie chart. You can play with many other things. So I've seen calls, density, unit angle, and you can see the clockwise and all those things. Then the second one that we can use is pi 3D chart. So what we can mention is we can use pi 3D function and the same other things, and we have another one called explode. So let us use that one. Pi 3D, or let me show you, already I have executed one. So here, what we are going to do is we have to already have installed package Plotrix. So we have to load library Plotrix and then we can use Pi 3D. So here, so I already installed that. Then Pi 3D. What was our data? Student data. So this is your 3D pie chart, and you can give the names and labels as you want also. Pi 3D students, then labels what we are given, DTS, right? So this is the big, so it is. So this is about pie chart and 3D pie chart. We can play with the things. Then we have bar chart. So bar chart is a chart where you'll be having rectangular bars, and with the rectangular bars you have the properties like what is the height and data. It represents the magnitude of the data item, the names, then colors, what you want in X dimension, what you want in Y dimension, then name of the chart. So height is vector or matrix values, that is the data to be plotted, and you want vector names and you can give the colors. Let us do that. So bar plot, so this is a bar plot but it is not visible. This is, you can see it here. So we didn't mention anything, we didn't give colors, we didn't give names, and we didn't give labels. So one, this is 50, this is 200, this is 100. So what we can give, we can give the names to that, and names.org, we can give the names. So let us do that. Bar plot names.org is equal to DTS. Let us zoom and see. Now you can see here Suryapet, Khammam, and Nalgonda, the names are given. So you can also give X label and Y label. Let me copy this and X label, X axis, what do we want? District. And we have to give that because it is a string. We have to give it in districts. And what is Y label? Students, right? Now let us see. So if you zoom, it will be clear. It will be students and it will be district. So this is how you can create a bar chart, and you can also give the main. You can also do it in R script, but I'm just doing it on console. Main. So you can see district wise student, this is the main. So this is about the bar chart. So in the next session, we'll learn about histogram and we'll talk about the remaining plots.